Let us not curse the darkness. Let us light a lamp.
Make me helpful, kind and gay. Make me cheerful when I pray.
Orphaned at a very early age, 11-year-old Nirmal from Ambur, Vellore district had nowhere to go.
I do at say, at home, at school, at work, at play.
Balamurugan, a destitute from Chengalpet, was unable to pursue education because of poverty. Bhubala Kannan from Athur in Salem district had a thirst for knowledge, but no means to go to school. Ten-year-old Gunashekar from Irukkanjeri, Chennai, had almost lost his will to live, having lost his father as a child. As orphans, they may have lost their mortal fathers and mothers. As destitutes, they may have lost the support of their immediate relatives. But blessed are these children by the Divine to come under the benevolent eye of Ramakrishna Mission Students' Home, as it is appropriately called home, not an orphanage. Showers of love bring them together, give them the will to succeed, the enthusiasm to live, the joy to share, the attitude to study, the humility to pray, and the inclination to be elevated spiritually. There can be no Indian who is unfamiliar with the divine incarnation of recent history, Sri Ramakrishna. Nor does anyone need to be told of his dynamic divine disciple, Swami Vivekananda, who founded the Ramakrishna Mission and the Ramakrishna Mutt to propagate the ideals of his mentor. Even as the headquarters of Ramakrishna Mission, Ramakrishna Mutt and Belur in the outskirts of Kolkata were getting established, Swami Ramakrishna Ananda, another direct disciple of Sri Ramakrishna himself, was deputed by Swami Vivekananda to establish a mutt in Madras. Swami Ramakrishnananda came across several bright young boys eager for education, but without the resources for even food or shelter. In particular, he was deeply moved by the plight of a boy from Mysore whose parents had passed away in an epidemic of plague. Out of saintly compassion for boys in such a predicament, Swami Ramakrishnananda established the Ramakrishna Mission Students' Home in a small house in Mylapore in the year 1905. One day, in the early years, frustrated by the lack of funds and help to run the home, Swami Ramakrishnananda almost chided his guru for not coming to his help. Sri Ramakrishna himself appeared to him in a flash and gave a divine instruction, giving him the foreknowledge that a young man would soon appear on the scene and help him. Indeed, youthful Ramaswamy Iyengar met the Swamiji very soon thereafter and became the first secretary of the home and contributed significantly to make the project a success. He had the honor to sign as a witness to the registration of the mission itself in Howrah. As the number of inmates increased, the home moved from place to place, expanding in scope and activities. Those who visited the home and wrote their impressions include many hallowed names who have shaped the history of this land. Mahatma Gandhi, Jawaharlal Nehru, C. Rajgopalachari, Sir C.V. Raman, Annie Besant, Sarojini Naidu, Nawab Sir Amin Jang Bahadur from Nizam of Hyderabad, Amin ul Mulk Mirza M. Ismail, Diwan of Mysore. Annie Besant wrote, "There is no service to the motherland which is greater than the training of her youth in her great religion, hand in hand with Western knowledge. Only then can the English educated and the Sanskrit educated be drawn together, and the great inspiration which came from Sri Ramakrishna through his noblest disciple Swami Vivekananda be made effectual in the uplifting of India." Mahatma Gandhi wrote in the Visitor's Book, "I am delighted to see this institution and the great enthusiasm of those managing it. Future experience will show the many ways in which the students will benefit." Yes, among the hundreds of students who reaped benefit, many realized their dreams and rose to positions of eminence in the country. Sri Pasupati, who was in the rank of a Chief Secretary, Government of Tamil Nadu. Sri T.M.P. Mahadevan, former head of the Department of Philosophy, University of Madras. Sri T.R. Sheshadri, FRS, Professor of Chemistry, Delhi University. Dr. Appadurai, co-founder of Indian Council for World Affairs. Major General S.P. Mahadevan, former GOC, Southern Command. If Sri Ramaswamy Iyengar and Sri Ramanujachari put their heart and soul in helping Swami Ramakrishna Nanda in the formation of the Students' Home in 1905, Dr. Nanjunda Rao gave his house rent-free for the initial years. In 1916, Sri S. G. Srinivasacharya made a generous gift of about 40,000 square feet of land to construct a new building. After acquiring an adjoining area of another 30,000 square feet, the impressive buildings came up. When Swami Brahmananda, deemed to be the spiritual son of Sri Ramakrishna, declared it open in 1921, he called it the Palace for the Poor. As an essential object of the home is to impart the Gurukulam system of education where teachers and pupils live together, a residential high school was started in 1922. Gradually, vocational training was included with a residential technical institute. Subsequently, a non-residential elementary school for the children of the locality was started. The home provides free boarding, lodging, and education. As of 2003, the home houses 375 orphans and destitute boys. The boys get up before sunrise and do their physical exercises in the gymnasium and yogalaya. After a refreshing bath, they assemble at the prayer hall, where Goddess Saraswati is the presiding deity. A portrait of Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, brought to Chennai almost 100 years ago by the founders of the home, is housed in this hall. And then it is breakfast time for the boys. Healthy food, including vitamins-enriched protein foods, are given to the boys in the mornings, at lunchtime, as well as in the nights. There are independent blocks of buildings to house the classrooms of the high school and the Technical Training Institute. The home is well equipped with laboratories, workshops with all the essential machinery for training, and indeed modern infrastructure for computer training. Not being a mere textbook-oriented school, the home teaches self-reliance and teamwork. Almost all the activities like cleaning, washing, upkeep of the surrounding, maintenance of the compound, and gardening are done by the students. The students themselves serve food in the dining hall, manage the stores, maintain the electrical connections, and take charge of the water pump, water management, besides library management, under the overall supervision of the wardens. Since the teachers live in the campus in quarters allotted to them, they are available to the students informally throughout the day. There is an in-house medical ward for boys who fall sick. While a doctor attends this regularly, some boys are trained to take care of the sick boys. A charitable dispensary attached to the Ramakrishna Mutt also treats the boys. For those boys who are perceived to need additional coaching, special coaching is given before they appear for the school leaving exam conducted by the state government. The boys are trained in a number of extracurricular activities. Festival time is fun time, for festivals are celebrated with gaiety. The boys celebrate Navaratri with the traditional display of dolls. For Deepavali celebrations, free clothes and crackers received from several donors are distributed to the boys. of Sri Ramakrishna, Holy Mother Sharada Devi, Swami Vivekananda and Swami Ramakrishnananda are celebrated by the boys by taking out a procession and participating in bhajans. The most important celebration in the home is the holy Akshaya Tritiya day in Chittirai, the first month of the Tamil New Year in April-May. There are special aradhanas and abhishekam for Goddess Saraswati, the presiding deity of the home. In addition to present students, inmates and staff of the home, several alumni and their families assemble on this day to sing bhajans and recite Lalita Sahasranamam. Ramakrishna Mission Students' Home Day is celebrated in February when several alumni participate with nostalgia. The old boys of the home have formed their chapters in Trichy, Salem, Bangalore and Madurai, besides the headquarters in Chennai. In the early years of the students' home, there was a scheme by which students from affluent families were admitted on payment basis. This scheme was later discontinued when Ramakrishna Mission founded other schools for students from the general public. The alumni under that stream include many later day celebrities. And alumni from various chapters continue to consider the institution as their home and help the management in several ways. Here are a few alumni who talk with a sense of nostalgia.
I come from a small village about 10 miles from Mayiladurai. The village is so small, even today we don't have school beyond class 5. From that village to have a higher education was very difficult, and also belonged to a very large family of 7 people. So in 64, after I completed my matriculation from our place, it was a big dilemma how to pursue the higher education. I applied for the Vivekananda College. Based on my marks and other thing, I could get admission. But the question was, where do you stay? Who will support me? Because for my father it was impossible at that time because of the family thing. I had applied for the Ramakrishna Mission Students' Home. In fact, I waited for that. I didn't accept the college admission, but unless the Students' Home admits me. As soon as I got it, I genuinely joined. I can very well say that but for the admission here, my college education would have not been possible for us. And the whole life and career would have been a different one. And the 4 years of my stay in the home was such a learning process which helps me, guides me even today. It is not that education of what learned in the books, the living with which, the guidance or the affection shown by the Swamiji, it is always in my memory and guiding me even today. The 4 years of our life was living together with a lot of people. The blessing of the Guru Maharaj and the education we had was such a thing. I always tell my children also, though I give them, today I can afford to give them better education, there is nothing equivalent to what my stay here, what I was there.
And it was here, in these 9 years of education in the home, that the foundations of one's character were laid down, and one learns through the examples of the revered Tata, C. Ramanujacharya, Anna, N. Subramaniam and other members of the faculty here, that come what may, one doesn't utter a lie, one always speaks the truth, and one does one's job very sincerely and honestly and face the consequences and never yield to temptation. It was these three characters or qualities that formed the bedrock of my career. Subsequently, when I took over as a college teacher for about 2 years and then for a long tenure as a member of the civil service in the state of Gujarat. And it was this that enabled me to weather the storms that one faces in the civil service of temptations, threats, pressures and so on.
The home taught me that community living involves a lot of adjustments. You give and take if all of you are to be comfortable. And there are values in differing and different viewpoints. Thirdly, I suppose I was made to rely on my own strength and weaknesses in shaping up my life. The same God lives in everybody, and during our short stay in this life, we should do our very best to make at least one person happy and satisfied within our limitations.
In the days of the national emergency, when Mr. Dave was advisor to the governor of Tamil Nadu under President's rule, he called me and asked, "Why were you selected? What weighed with the government to select you as the Commissioner for Hindu Religious Endowments?" I said, "I have no idea why I have been selected. What weighed with the government, only the government knows." "What is your background?" he asked. I said, "I studied in the Ramakrishna Students' Home." "Oh, that certainly says it all," he said. "I am sure you would give Vaishnavism and Shaivism equal importance. You are perhaps the fittest person to have been selected."
On good grounds அப்படின்னு சொன்னார்.
I am very glad to learn that the Ramakrishna Mission Students' Home is celebrating its centenary in the 2005, which is not very far off. It's a great thing with regard to any particular institution to have completed 100 years of useful service in this world where such turmoils and difficulties are there every 10th year, 20th year. We had two big world wars in this last 100 years from 1905 to 1948. The students' home has survived both these tests, and today it is one of the finest students' homes, a refuge for the poor students and orphan children. It is considered as one of the best students' home in the country. And I am so glad that this good institution is not only completing its 100 years, but it has done a wonderful service, and it is on the verge of taking bigger strides and developing itself to serve more children. The school buildings that are there at present, the Abdul Hakim building, the workshop buildings which are used for school and classrooms and workshops, they are more than 80-year-old and they are dilapidated and they require immediately new constructions. And the estimated cost, I hear, comes to about 5.5 crores, which is not very much in the present day price levels. And I request all the ex-students of this institution, all the lovers of this institution, to come forth and help this great institution so that they can open new courses also in the technical institute and help the poor children in many other ways.
ah